Guys, we are going back to WCW Starrcade 1997 and having a full breakdown on that fast 3 count that Nick Patrick pulled that night. So the match, of course, was Sting vs Hollywood Hogan, an 18-month build-up or thereabouts, one of the best build-ups to a wrestling match in pro wrestling history, many would tell you. And so we come to the night and the match, epic entrances by both competitors, especially Sting, who people hadn't seen wrestle for such a very long time, and the moment was amazing. Now, despite what people's comments may be about the match itself, we are going to the end of the match, the 3 count specifically. Hogan dropped the big leg on Sting, went for the 3 count, Nick Patrick countered it. And so the Hitman comes out complaining of a fast count and says he isn't going to see anybody screwed over by a referee, because if anyone knows what it's like to be screwed over by a referee, he does. Of course, talking about the infamous Montreal Screwjob that had just gone down the month prior in WWE. And so the match restarted and of course Sting won. But here's the problem, let's look at that 3 count again. The problem is, guys, referee Nick Patrick botched that one. It was supposed to be a fast 3 count. Nick Patrick, of course, former member of the NWO. The fast 3 count would make him look like he was in Hogan's back pocket. Perfect. But he didn't really count it fast. He kind of just counted it normally. Now this had some people speculating, did Hogan get in Nick Patrick's ear before the match and told him to count a normal 3 count? Some people think this. Therefore, it wouldn't make Hogan look weak. It would make it look like he defeated Sting properly, normally. And therefore, it would look like Hogan was getting screwed over. In essence, the 3 count should have looked more like this. Then, that would make sense. A fast 3 count, Sting was screwed over, you should restart the match. Makes sense then for Bret Hart to come out in his storyline, just being screwed over at Survivor Series. As I say, the match begins again, you got the Hitman out there, got the Scorpion Deathlock, Sting wins. Probably what they just should have done from the get-go. With this particular storyline and the big fascination around Sting, he hadn't wrestled for so long, just have him go over Hogan clean. Of course, backstage politics would never demand that, but... So it was botched. Nick Patrick pretty much delivered a standard 3 count, and in the end it kind of looked like Hogan was screwed over, which was not the intention.
But also there was a mess up with the count and the referee, and
right.
It was like, what was that all? How could that have failed? Where was the mistake there? You know. So and then it makes everybody second guess. You know, like, oh, you know, did the referee get paid off or what? You know.
Right.
I mean, I don't believe that happened, but at least I don't want to believe it, but. At the time, you know, when you're going through it, your mind just starts going everywhere, and you're thinking, what is going on here, man? I mean, why can't this just be like it was, easy and fun?
And as an add-on to this, I'm going to say what they should have done at this point was have Bret the Hitman Hart versus Hollywood Hogan at the next pay-per-view, which was sold out January 98. That would have been a mega match. And to add to this, the two hadn't actually ever had a one-on-one match up to this point, so that would have even added to it more. It would have made sense if the Hitman had just screwed over Hogan at Starrcade, and would have been a great introduction to Bret Hart into the WCW, but instead the whole thing was just waved aside and forgotten about. But going back to that 3 count, did Hogan really get in Nick Patrick's ear that night and tell him to count a normal count, or did Nick Patrick simply just botch it? Your thoughts, guys, as always, leave them down below. Thanks heaps for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks heaps, guys, for tuning into the video. Be sure to drop a Scorpion Death Drop on that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome pro wrestling action from the WWE, the WCW, and much more.